How to draw Chainsaw Man. What you're gonna need is a pencil, eraser, kinetic eraser, and a ruler. Then you're gonna want to find something circular for the main base of the sketch. Then use your ruler to make 2 lines down. This will help to make the bar and chain. Then we're gonna go ahead and extend that circle just a bit forward, almost making a football shape. Now we're gonna just sharpen and darken some spots of the drawing already, just to be able to get a better visual of what we're gonna make. We're gonna go ahead and start making the back of the head. Make sure when you're drawing you don't press too hard. When we're working on the back, we're just gonna go ahead and think about mechanical parts, just adding random little mechanical pieces that will look good for a back of the head chainsaw. The good thing about these drawings is that you can always go back and fix some mistakes. Right here I saw that I didn't think that the helmet was too big, so I extended it. Now we're going to start making the wires connecting down to the jaw. Now we're going to go ahead and start making the bottom jaw. Using your ruler is really helpful when you want to get some straight lines, especially when it comes to the wires connected to the jaw. You can stand your ruler to be able to see and have a better visual of the lines. Now we're going to go ahead and make a square at the back of the neck with 2 lines in between them. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the neck. When you're making the neck, make 2 lines next to each other. That will be the pattern that we will follow. Now this is my favorite part of any type of drawing, the teeth. When it comes to characters like these, you can always fix the teeth however you would like. Sometimes it could be longer, shorter, they can be overlapping. Now when you're making these teeth, you want to leave gaps in between them to make teeth behind them. When you do that, I like to just color them in gray and show that they're in the back. It just gives it that depth. For that very last tooth, make a rectangle, just because that's going to be the separation from the teeth and the jaw and the wires connecting. Now we're just going to fill in that gum. And for this one, I wanted to add a tongue. Not a lot of the pictures in this character, his tongue is out or drawing, so I like to get creative with mine. Make sure when you're making the teeth, you make some behind the tongue, just because that tongue is sticking out and it's covering some of the teeth. We're going to go ahead and make that tongue a little bigger, just to show that the tongue is being pushed up by the teeth. We're going to go ahead and add a line right here because it shows the shape his head has. And we're also going to start working on the eyes. Make sure you make a line just to know that's where the eyes have to end. And make sure they're both the same thickness, all 4 of them. Whenever you're making the eyes, you want to make sure that they align and make sense to the other eyes. You don't want one bigger than the other. That just wouldn't make sense. Now we're going to go ahead and start working at the back of the head. We're going to start adding more wires and more detail, more of those mechanical looks. The thing about these sketches is that you can always go back and give those small random squares, circles, triangles more detail. That's what really adds to the drawing. Now we're just going to do the same thing we did on the neck. We're just going to start giving those stretches of random wires going through the neck. Now we're going to start working on the top part of his head. That's where it has more mechanical look to it. So you really want to give it that chainsaw look. Since we only had a random circle right there, we're going to go ahead and erase that and give it more of a blocky shape. So like I said, the good thing about these pencil drawings is that you can always go back and fix any mistakes. From here, I saw that the chain was a little too small compared to his head. So we're just going to go ahead and make it a little bigger. Now we're going to start working on the chain and bar. You're going to make a double line on that line you already did. That's just going to be the chain. Now we're going to add the spikes to the chain. Make sure you keep that same pattern all the way around. And go ahead and add some shadow. Now what we're just going to do is going to color in some of the important parts like the gums. Since this is a gory anime and a character, we're just going to go ahead and add some blood. It just gives it that cooler effect. And if you want, you don't have to copy me for the blood. You can add as much blood as you want or a different pattern on it. If you don't already, I would suggest getting a kinetic eraser just because you can make the shape you want and it'd be easier to get into those small areas to erase small details. Now if you don't know this already, this character is from the character named Chainsaw Man / the manga and anime. It's about the story of this kid named Denji and his friend pet Pochita. And he has never had anything go well in his life. It's always unfortunate for him when out of nowhere his life takes a complete turn, and out of nowhere he gets the respect and care that he's always wanted, but it always comes at a risk. Now we're just going to start adding more detail to the drawing and coloring in some of the spots, like the eyes. Something I almost forgot is that he does have an eye in between those 4 lines. So make sure you make a small little circle in there and darken it. You're going to want to add some shadow to the helmet just to show that there is depth to it, there is color. Add a little bit of blood at the front of his helmet. And now we're just going to color in everything in the back of the head, just to make it look better and give it more shadow. That's when it really makes it feel like it's coming to life. Make sure when you're shading, you don't hit those white wires. Those need to come out and they need to be seen. When you're shadowing it, make sure you can go light at the bottom and darken it at the top. Now for the tongue, I darkened it because I really want it to pop. We also want to give the tongue a little bit more detail, so just go ahead and add some saliva, just swinging away. What I like to do is also darken some of the teeth, just because it makes them look sharper. At the very end of every drawing, it's really fun to start adding more detail to it, just because it comes out and it pops out even more. It can sometimes even look more realistic. If you like the drawing, please let me know down in the comments and let me know what I should try and draw next. If you would like a part 2 with color, hit that like button. Thank you for watching Nano Draws. Have a nice day.